What's happening, y'all? We are back once again with more NBA talk. It's Kano NBA Music Talk. For those that don't know, and wow, the betting scandal continues to get worse. So, how Chauncey got involved, like this La Costa Nostra niggas, man, they were holding illegal poker games throughout Las Vegas, New York, and Miami, I believe it was, right? And then since Damon Jones was kind of like tapped in because this is how LeBron got involved. LeBron, I guess, had a conversation with Damon Jones and said, I might not play tonight. Damon Jones told everybody, LeBron not playing, so bet against the other team. From what I'm hearing it, LeBron told him to like bet against him if he's betting. That's what I'm hearing. But I don't know. He wouldn't necessarily be indicted or even charged though, because he's not a part of the whole scandal. He just gave somebody advice because he was like, my ankle sore. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even playing tonight. Bing, and then the thing went off on in Damon Jones' head and shit. Like, damn. And then Damon Jones was the person who introduced Chauncey Billups into the betting scandal. You know what I'm saying? That's a crazy story. So Damon Jones put Chauncey on. That's basically what happened. They introduced him to the gambling shit. Then KG, he was in one of the poker games as the celebrity of one of the more private and secret games. But he wasn't, from what I'm hearing, he didn't know that the scandal and the counting cards thing, and then the little things the little machine where you see right through the cards. KG ain't know that was going on. So I don't think he gonna get charged in that case. I heard Tyronn Lue name being mentioned. I wonder what his involvement is. I think more and more shit is going to come out as far as Tyronn Lue's role. But just reading how Chauncey got involved with all this, it's fucked up. And it seemed like Damon Jones was super tapped into this shit. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Damon Jones only made like 16 million. I know looking at the average person is like, only? Nah, dog. It's different. You'll get 16 million and won't have 16 million. You know what I'm saying? Anybody gets 16 million right now. Not many of y'all are going to manage it. You're going to blow it. You're going to spend it because there are certain things that you can buy at that particular time that you always wanted to buy but couldn't never buy. 16 million to go. You'll spend that motherfucker before that shit even gets to your account. And then, obviously, Damon's 16 million, you got to think about the tax man. You got to think of the tax man getting his percentages. So this nigga might not even made 10 million as an NBA player. This is before all the NBA players started getting real money. Then, the case involves conspiracy to commit wire fraud and money laundering. They said that Billups and Jones were deeply involved in the scheme, and the scheme generated 7.15 million in profits, with 50,000 wired to Chauncey in 2020. So Chauncey is restricted from traveling outside Oregon and Colorado. and is expected to appear in federal court in New York City on November the 24th. Fucked up Thanksgiving. And then two other NBA players were revealed as possibly being a part of the gambling operation. And these are current players, Jarred Vanderbilt and Gabe Vincent from the Los Angeles Lakers. If found guilty, their contracts will be voided. So they'll no longer be a part of the Lakers. Now, if they get another job, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But if they don't, fuck it. But this whole entire mob gambling shit is insane, y'all. And this shit is pretty much overshadowing how great of an NBA season this has been so far. This is the dark cloud over the NBA season. This is a LeBron-less season. This shit is exciting. I ain't got to hear about this motherfucker all goddamn day about how great he is for his age. But one thing I can give LeBron credit for today is he actually was very supportive of his team. That's probably only because they won. If they would have lost the game tonight, LeBron would not sit next to these motherfuckers. You can't sit with us. I'm at the cool table. Type shit. We're going to get to these box scores now. As Friday night was full of fun and full of games. So let's see. Let's tap in. And then, just like before, I'm going to reveal the games that I actually watched. Now, this game I did not see. So this is the first game on the board. The Milwaukee Bucks defeated the Toronto Raptors 112 to 116. So Miles Turner only had 4 points. Gary Trent, 20 points. Yeah, he's consistent. He might be the legit number 2 option to Giannis because of his scoring ability. Giannis had 31 points, 20 rebounds, and 7 assists. Nobody on Toronto clearly couldn't stop him. Ryan Rollins had 13 points. Cole Anthony, 23 points off the bench. Kyle Kuzma, 8 points off the bench. Bobby Portis, 11 points. I like how Doc Rivers has the lineups, though. So Kevin Porter Jr. didn't play. He must be hurt. I mean, Thanasis, Gary Harris, Andre Jackson did not play. Amir Coffey, somebody that Doc is familiar with, got, his first piece of playing time. As far as Toronto is concerned, Brandon Ingram had 29 points. RJ Barrett had 20 points. Scotty Barnes had 17 points. Emmanuel Quick, 18 points. Pretty even scoring around Toronto. This team does kind of have potential as far as the future. I just don't see Toronto being a threat yet. It's a lot of people that got Toronto making the playoffs. I got them possibly outside playing, but who knows? The Eastern Conference is wide open. Damn, where's Kyler Murray Boyles at? Is he in the G League? That's what it's looking like to me. Because he was their first round pick. I got to look into where Kyler Murray Boyles is. He must be on the G League team. Damn, not even good enough to be on the roster. It's crazy, though. Next game, we're going to talk about the Hawks and the Mavericks. I saw this game in its entirety. The Orlando Magic pretty much had the upper hand most of the game until the fourth quarter when Trae Young took over. And Trae Young didn't even shoot well. So on the Atlanta side, Onyeka Okongwu had 17 points and 3 blocks. Jalen Johnson had 12 points and 8 rebounds. Trae Young had 25 points and 6 assists. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 19 points. Mohamed Gay had 13 points. So balanced scoring across the board. But I think that once that fourth quarter happened, Trae Young became the Trae Young that we all know and love. Franz Wagner had 27 points. Paolo Banchero, 11 points, 4 of 15 from the field. Looks like he was locked up. Hey, man, Jalen Johnson did well on guarding Paolo Banchero. That was something that I did notice. Desmond Bane had 15 points. Jalen Suggs had 11 points. Tristan De Silva had 15 points. But it did not matter because they lost. I could tell that Banchero was frustrated that he couldn't get into, his usual rhythm. I could just see the frustration on his face throughout the game. Next up, we got the Cavaliers and the Brooklyn Nets. The Cleveland Cavaliers defeated the Brooklyn Nets 131-124. Box these bitches up. We got Jarrett Allen. As soon as I don't bet on Jarrett Allen, when I bet him, he puts up a triple single. But this motherfucker had 22 tonight. Ain't that a bitch? Evan Mobley had 13 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. Donovan Mitchell, 35 points and 5 rebounds. And he actually played 4 quarters, despite Brooklyn almost coming back. Despite a 38-point fourth quarter from Brooklyn. Michael Porter Jr. has finally shown up. 31 points. This is the Michael Porter Jr. I expected against the Hornets. 31 points and 8 rebounds. Wow. Cam Thomas. This is the Cam Thomas I expected against the Charlotte Hornets. 33 points and 9 assists. Wow. So these niggas just play to their competition, I see. Zaire Williams, 25 points, 9 of 13 from the field, 6 of 9 from 3. That's a great performance. You got a dude that scored 31, 33, and 25, and y'all still don't win? Brooklyn ass. I ain't gonna hold you. Brooklyn is ass. Still, despite the nice little statistics, still gotta finish the game. Next up, we got the Knicks versus Celtics as the New York Knicks defeated the Boston Celtics 105-95. I didn't see this game, so I wonder, was there good defense being played by both teams, or both teams were just shooting like shit? Let's find out. So Derek White was 5 of 18. God damn. Peyton Pritchard 2 of 10. God damn. Sam Hauser had 18 points. All his shots were threes. He was 6 of 10. Anthony Simons had 10 points off the bench. Jaylen Brown had 23 points, but it wasn't enough. As being the number one option is proving to be a little tough for Jaylen Brown. Jalen Brunson, however, had 31 points on 10 of 20 shooting, 3 of 7 from 3. Karl Anthony Towns had 26 points and 13 rebounds. And that was pretty much all they needed for real. I mean, the other guys did contribute, but it wasn't like major contributions. It was just a very low-scoring game. This is a game I definitely watch since this is my home team. As the Detroit Pistons defeated the Houston Rockets 115-111, Cade Cunningham, 21 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists. Another day at the office for Cade. Asar Thompson, though, against his brother, Amin, 19 points. Duncan Robinson contributed 17 points, shot 4-8 from 3. Ron Holland had 11 points. The X factor for me in this game was Paul Reed. Paul Reed had 13 points and 9 rebounds. And every one of those, it might not be as nice on paper as it looked, but you have to understand something. Jalen Duren got ejected. I believe it was the second quarter. He waved up his Detroit jersey and shit. And Paul Reed came in there and was really putting belt to ass on the Rockets throughout that second half. So he was very important and very vital to the Pistons winning this game. They don't win this game without Paul Reed. Now, on the Houston side of things, Kevin Durant had 37 points. It was 6 niggas in double figures for Houston. Jabari had 11 points. Steven Adams had 11 points and 10 rebounds. Alperen Sengun was held to 5 of 18 from the field. Wow. Amen Thompson was 2 of 8 at 10 points. Josh Okogie had 10 points, but Sengun was pretty much the factor in who lost them this game. It wasn't KD. 5 of 18 is bad. Like, real bad. Like, who was checking Sengun? Like, was it Harris? I know Harris ain't shut down no big motherfucking Sengun, man. Ain't no way. They're still running that tall lineup again, and Detroit did the same thing that the Oklahoma City Thunder did. They put a small lineup in there, and then once Duren left, they were able to take advantage of the Rockets for their lack of ball handling. And they made a lot of silly turnovers. Even though it wasn't that many turnovers for the Rockets, but a lot of their turnovers are circus-like. 0-2, I understand that these guys are just getting integrated and shit, but I don't know. Maybe the Rockets aren't what they hyped them up to be, but we'll see. I think that the Rockets have to go out and get a point guard. This shit is not working. I'm going to just keep it 100. This shit is not working. They need to run Steven Adams off the bench and add a point guard. Spencer Dinwiddie's out there. You know what I'm saying? There are a few point guards that are out there that could help this Rockets team. I think that's just I think that's just what it is to me. Jesus Christ. The Miami Heat put belt to ass to the Memphis Grizzlies 146 to 114. This is embarrassing. Bam Adebayo, 24 points. Kel'el Ware, 19 points. I like that Spoelstra. This lineup is great. This starting lineup is cold. You got Davion Mitchell, Norm Powell, Andrew Wiggins, Bam Adebayo, and Kel'el Ware. Amazing. That's a great lineup. Then when Tyler Hero get back, like, who would go to the bench? I mean, I would assume it would be Mitchell. But I don't know. Probably Ware would go back to the bench. Highly likely. But I don't know, man. I would keep him, and I would just move Mitchell to the bench. He would be more valuable off the bench. But speaking of the Heat bench, the Heat had 8 niggas in double figures, man. Simone Fontecchio, 14 points, 5 and 9, 4, 8 from 3. How come he couldn't fucking do this shit in Detroit? This motherfucker want to be a fucking sharpshooter in Miami, though. Women, weed, and weather, I guess. Jaime Jaquez Jr., 17 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals. Nikola Jovic, the money man, 20 points off the bench. Drew Smith, 10 points. It seemed like everybody got in the goddamn game for Miami. Even the fucking janitor got into the game. Even the fucking mascot got into the game. Ja Morant, after I praised Ja Morant the other game, he comes in and stinks it up in Miami. Well, technically in Memphis at home. God damn, they beat the fuck out these niggas at the crib. Ja had 12 points and 6 assists. Jaren Jackson had 19 points. Santi Aldama had 13 points, and Cedric Coward 16 points. Yeah, this was an ass whooping. This is reminiscent of that Clippers and Jazz game the other day. And San Antonio goes to 2-0 as they defeat the New Orleans Pelicans 120 to 116. This was a tight game. And despite Victor Wembanyama fouling out in overtime, this motherfucker, Vic, going crazy. 29 points, 9 blocks, 11 rebounds. Nothing short of amazing here. Devin Vassell, great game, 23 points, 8 of 19, 6 of 14 from 3. Stephon Castle, 16 points and 6 assists. Yeah, Stephon Castle is going to be a high-quality pro. Dylan Harper, 13 points off the bench. Luke Cornett, 14 points and 12 rebounds. And then Keldon Johnson had 10 rebounds and 8 points off the bench. I saw the second half of this game. And this was a fun game. Like, from the opening tip, right? No Diddy. This nigga Zion dunked on Victor Wembanyama for the opening bucket, bro. That shit is wild. There's a lot of niggas in foul trouble. You had Victor Wembanyama with 6 fouls, Keldon Johnson with 6 fouls, Dylan Harper with 5 fouls. This is insane. He had Herb Jones with 5 fouls, Derek Queen with 6 fouls. There's a lot of hacking going on. On the New Orleans side, you had 3 players score over 20 with Zion with 27 and 10 and 27, 10, and 7. Wow. Trey Murphy with 24, 10, and 5 and 3 steals. Jordan Poole with 21 points. Derek Queen with 15 points. Jeremiah Fears with 13 points. This was a very good game up until the end. Just San Antonio was just able to scrape by and survive. This team got a lot of potential. Like I told y'all yesterday, I'm convinced that Victor Wembanyama is a top 10 player in the world as of right now. You know, he was good up until his injury last year. I think if Victor stayed healthy last year, San Antonio would have made the play-in. Now I'm convinced that this team could get one of them final 8 spots. I think that, I still think San Antonio is going to have to play a play-in game or 2 to get in. But I think they got this. The Washington Wizards defeated the Dallas Mavericks 117 to 107. Dallas and Houston are 0-2. That's not a good look. This Cooper Flag at point guard shit is not working, Jason Kidd. And if this experiment fails with all these guys, he's getting canned. I believe that Jason Kidd will get fired if the Dallas Mavericks does not return at least to the Western Conference Finals. So let's get into these box scores. We got Kaishan George, 34 points, 11 rebounds on 11 of 15 shooting, 4 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks. He did a little bit of everything. And Kaishan George is like 6'7", 6'8". Killing. Alex Sarr, 14 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks. That's nice. CJ McCollum, only 2 of 8 from the field. Trey Johnson, the rookie, 17 points, 7 of 13 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3. My dark horse is the Washington Wizards in the East. Cooper Flag with a much better game. Hey, 18 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. That's not bad. Anthony Davis, 27 points, 13 rebounds, 4 assists. PJ Washington, 18 points and 9 rebounds. They did not get any help from their bench. Max Christie had 9 points, but nobody on the bench scored more than 10 points. Then you had Najee Marshall, who played 7 minutes. Yeah, man. No contribution whatsoever from their bench. They're still without Daniel Gafford, without Dante Exum, and without Kyrie Irving. I think when those guys return, I think Dallas is going to run it up. Then we had 4 night games. This, if you're an NBA fan, this is your kind of night. The Los Angeles Lakers defeated the Minnesota Timberwolves in pretty much a revenge game because the Timberwolves eliminated the Lakers in 5 games. And these guys beat the brakes off of Minnesota, who is a contender without LeBron James, which, I'm loving this shit. This would probably give him the idea that they don't need him anymore. I know it's just 2 games. I'm talking shit. But Anthony Edwards had 31 points. Julius Randle had 26 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Dante DiVincenzo, 13 points, but they got 0 contribution from their bench. Naz Reid was 2 of 9. Mike Conley was 0 for 3. Mike Conley needs to retire. He's washed up. He's ass. It's time to bring Rob Dillingham along. 1 minute? That's not going to cut it. I understand that they're running like a taller lineup with DiVincenzo playing the 1. That's cool, but I feel like Rob Dillingham could be like a 6th man of the year candidate if they just let him rock. You wouldn't have lost by 17 if Dillingham would have got 17 minutes. You would have lost by 18 if Rob Dillingham would have had 18 minutes. But obviously, the story of the night was Luka Doncic's 49 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists game. Luka rode shotgun with his, I told y'all about Austin Reeves. He could be a Scottie Pippen caliber player. Not necessarily like defensively, but I'm talking about as far as like from a number 2, to be a number 2 guy. Austin Reeves had 25 points and 11 assists and 7 rebounds. That's good. Rui Hachimura had 23 points, 10 of 13, 2 of 4 from 3. But yeah, man, the Lakers went crazy. Then this was the shocker of the night. Portland Trailblazers beating the brakes off of the Warriors. I think the Blazers had the night off last night, and they caught the Warriors slipping off of a back-to-back, and they literally took off and outran the Warriors, which is wild. Steph Curry's 35 points just couldn't save this team. Jimmy Butler only contributed 14 points. Draymond had 12. Kuminga had 16. No contribution whatsoever from their bench. Buddy Hield was balling last night and only had 2 shot attempts and only 12 minutes played. Wow. Moses Moody played 21 minutes, shot 1 of 6 from the field, had 7 points. As far as the Blazers go, 8 niggas in double figures. Tamani Kamara, 19 points. He's gotten so much better offensively. Denny Avdia, I told y'all about him last year. He on the way. Denny Avdia is coming for that most improved player. I think he should have been a candidate last year, in my opinion. But Donovan Clingan, 14 points, 8 rebounds. Denny Avdia, 26 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. Drew Holiday, 12 points, 11 assists. Shaden Sharp, 17 points. Jeremy Grant, 22 points off the bench. Chris Murray, 13 points off the bench. And Matisse Thybulle, 10 points. Yeah, man. Crazy. And they did this shit without Scoop. Yeah, the Warriors had to face some type of adversity. They're going to be a great team and a contender. You got to beat everybody. Pause. Next up, you have the Sacramento Kings defeating the Utah Jazz 105-104 in a close matchup. Both of these teams are 1-1. Box this bitch up. Okay, Lauri Markkanen had 33 points. Keontae George had 18 points and 10 assists. Bryce Sensabaugh, 15 points. Walter Clayton had 10 points. Zach LaVine had 31 points. I bet you the next game he'll have 3 points, knowing Zach LaVine. But Zach LaVine in these 2 games, he's scored more than 20 points in both the games, so maybe I'll give that nigga some grace. But 10 and 18, 4-9, he had a good game. DeMar DeRozan, I don't know what was up with him. 7 points and 6 assists? I guess, man. Malik Monk, 20 points off the bench. Russell Westbrook, 7 points, 4 assists. Pretty decent. That's enough to beat the Jazz. This is what the Clippers should have did to Utah. But it is what it is. And the last game I'm going to talk about before I get up out of here, we had the Los Angeles Clippers bouncing back after getting their ass whooped by Utah as they defeated the Phoenix Suns 129-102. James Harden was on fire. This was one of those nights where James Harden would turn into the Rockets James Harden. But first things first, Dillon Brooks, 21 points on 7 of 17 from the field, 5 of 10 from 3. Devin Booker, 18 points and 7 assists. Colin Gillespie, 13 points off the bench. Royce O'Neal, 11 points. Kawhi Leonard, 27 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. Derrick Jones made all 6 of his shots, including 5 of 5 from 3, and had 17 points. James Harden had 30 points. John Collins had 10 points off the bench. Chris Dunn had 14 points off the bench. Chris Paul had 0 points, but 8 assists, 3 steals. CP don't really have to score on this team. And I caught glimpses of damn near all of the late night games. So I could just talk about how all of them went. But the Clippers, off the rip, they were primed to win that game. And that's all I'm going to say on that. All right, y'all. I appreciate you guys for checking me out. It's Keno NBA Music Talk, and I'm out.